Hello, and welcome to a nerdy edition of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. With us today, Sean Murry out of Dunlin, Florida. Sean is the owner of DRS, Drywall Repair Solutions, and we talk about Intex, we talk about the trade shows, and his involvement with Drywall Nation early on, and we also talk about Walls and Ceilings magazine. So you're kind of a drywall nerd. So when you found out about the Drywall Podcast, you were like, "Oh, okay.
Oh, this is it. Exactly.
Yeah,
This is it."
yeah.
I listened through. Got Daniels. I got the alien guy from New York. What's his name?
Paps.
Yes, yeah. I got that one. I got the Columbia ones in. Lydia's. I listened to Lydia's. You know, some of the people I didn't recognize the names. I saw some artists.
Sean is a true master of his trade, and I'm glad to have him on the show. The Drywall Podcast is brought to you by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Fresco Harmony now available online at CSR to our Canada audience and also globally. You can catch the Drywall Podcast every Friday on your favorite platforms such as Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube. Without further ado, Sean Murry on the 33rd episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it. We have Sean Murry from Dunlin, Florida, with DRS Drywall, and he is down in close to Ocala, Florida, Ocala, doing hurricane damage repair. And we were just sort of having a little conversation about the insurance, which I think was kind of an interesting conversation. But before we started talking about the insurance damage, we talked about my Facebook page got hacked.
Yes.
And I lost my personal Facebook account, and you had that happen to you on Instagram, and you were unable to, and you had 5,000 followers. That's a lot. How did you get up to 5,000?
Posting something every day.
Okay.
Showing them something that I was doing, a trick that I learned that I could, hey, check this out, try this out. I mean,
you were doing video content?
Somewhat. It was more post back then, I want to say. Now it's more video. The reels are the big thing, or the stories.
Yeah.
But I would post a picture. Like I have I took a little stucco sponge and I made a knockdown sponge, cutting holes in it. I wish I would have brought it. It's actually in the trailer, but I cut out holes for it so I can match knockdown without having to spray it, without having to use a hopper. I have a Graco hopper machine that sprays fantastic.
So you do a little. You do a little.
You put it on the. You take a 6-inch knife. You put it on the sponge. You fill the holes, and then you press it against the wall.
Oh, I love it.
The holes are random. They're little, big, small, oblongs, and I just started cutting holes, and I'm like, because I found a guy in Jacksonville that invented a sponge like that, and he's out of business now. He doesn't sell them anymore. I called him on the phone and I said, hey, I need some more of those sponges. He goes, oh, I don't do them anymore. I'm like, oh gosh. So because I had them all wore out, and the sponge was actually part of the handle, and it would tear. So I took a stucco float and just did the same thing, and so I showed people that, another thing that
and what is the name of that video on that's on YouTube? Would you post, or that's just on Instagram?
Yeah.
But that got deleted.
It's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's my challenge to go make another one of those videos, because that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I had Daniel Osborne asking about it. That tell you.
He's
DRR.
He's the drywall doctor.
The brain surgeon of drywall.
The
is the
brain
man.
surgeon. And the other thing I was going to ask you that I did not start off asking you was, how did you find out about the podcast? Are you an avid listener, or did you
No,
approach me?
I actually I followed you from years ago with the Fresco Harmony. You actually sent me some samples,
Okay.
some color samples at one time, and but I went on your YouTube page since then and saw all your videos, and I'm I got to show it to my wife, and we're going to do a wall somewhere. I
That's
just
how
don't
it's
know where yet.
That's how it starts. I send sample
Yeah,
packs to a lot of people and they'll hold on
yeah,
to the sample pack. But the point of those sample packs, is to actually mix up a bucket of that color and
yeah,
then do a
yeah,
wall. And that's
yeah.
like that.
So I need to,
That's how you
yeah.
fall in love.
Yeah, well, what I saw, the wall you did was like a grayish color, and then
Okay.
you put orange in it. You put like an orange color in it. I don't. You have all these names for these colors I've never heard before. So
Sure, sure. Of
sapphire
course. Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
sounds like a true artist color, but it was on your how-to video, and
Okay.
you even suggested don't put the if you're doing this for the first time, don't put the extra color
Yeah.
in the first time around. But what it attracted it to me was, yeah, that's great. It looks like that, but when you did the clear coat over it, all of a sudden it jumped. It's
No,
like,
what people don't realize is the clear coat is a huge part of the process.
yes,
That
yes,
like the
it
colored mud,
was.
that's your base.
Yeah,
That definitely saves you money. But when you put on
yes,
it's a Fresco Harmony top coat, that
yeah,
finishes it, man. I mean, and then
yeah,
also to the applicators or when you're applying it, when you put on that final coat, that's what gets you hooked. Like you
yes,
put on that
yes,
and you're like, oh, I get it now. This is
yeah,
okay.
mm-hmm,
He's putting on the
yep,
colored mud, but then he's sealing it, and that's like
mm-hmm,
compressing and sanding your
yep.
wall at the same time. It's
Similar to burnishing it, when the
Yep.
guys do the Venetian plaster.
Yeah,
So
or wet. I say wet
wet
sanding.
sanding,
It's
yes,
kind of like that. You're doing it with edge of your trowel
yeah,
and sealer and liquid,
yeah,
a moist sealer.
right.
Yep.
And you troweled it on the sealer.
Yeah, so that what
Yeah,
you're talking about, the color is Feinberg sapphire, and the color, the metallic I'm using is a Modern Masters metallic called Gold Rush, and it's a
that was
metallic
it.
gold. So
Yeah,
when you do that swirl,
yeah,
you get these bursts of gold, really pretty.
it was really cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
and then you use the gold sealer in the
Right.
finish. You've been following Fresco Harmony for a little while, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you started seeing this like drywall podcast stuff pop up.
Yeah, I thought about the same thing years ago when this
Okay.
IG thing started. I said, why we should have we got contractors podcast, you got a plumbers podcast, you got an electrician, why not a drywall guy?
Well,
And the way the
people
community,
thought I was nuts, Sean.
no, not at all.
When I said I wanted to start, well, people that aren't in drywall are like, who the hell is going to listen to that?
I am, because I was I'm a Columbia brand ambassador, so I listened
Oh, okay.
for Aaron and Elliot. They are
Yeah.
super guys. I loved working with them. I
Yeah.
actually was an ambassador during COVID, so so they made me an ambassador in 2020,
Okay.
and they were going to send. We were all supposed to go to the trade show that April, and they were going to take care of everything for us, but everything was shut down. And then the next year came around,
The
everything was shut down again.
Intex, you
Yeah, the
guys were
Intex show.
scheduled to go to Intex.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to get to meet everybody, from Drywall by Design, Scott, and then Leah
Yeah.
Paluk
Oh yeah.
and Lydia and Kayla, drywall
Yep.
queen, finishing queen. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been in drywall so long, and I've been such a drywall nerd.
Okay.
I would go to the Intex shows way before they were like cool. Now they're cool. It's it's a meetup kind of thing. Whereas before, I met Elliot and Aaron's dad when he was still a part of the company when the first show I went to.
Okay. Bernie.
Bernie, yes. And I
Yeah.
met him.
I want to meet him.
I met the guy who invented Straight Flex, the Straight Flex
Okay.
products, John
Sure. Yeah.
Conboy.
Probably met Scott Murry.
Yes. He was not working. He was not level 5 back then. He was with,
and
I want to say he was doing for Goldblatt at that time. Was
okay.
he designing for Goldblatt? I can't remember.
And Joe Koenig, probably met him.
Yep.
Good guys.
And like I said, I eat that stuff up. I mean, it's like, where is this now? It's cool. It's to do it. But back then, the guys that I knew in town were, you're going to the drywall show. What the heck? Really?
How long ago would you say that was?
It was in Vegas. I want to say it was 2005, maybe 2005, 4, maybe.
Because I went to one.
2010. Maybe it was 2010.
I went 2000 when the product first came out. I was like, I'm going to go to this Intex show, and I'm going to launch
what year
this
was that?
thing. I was like carpet bagging. I still am. Like,
was that was the first year you went?
The product's been out maybe 11 years. So 2011, 12.
Was it in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'd move it around every once in a while, because it was in Orlando one year, Miami one year, and then they move it out west. And then actually in Florida's got their own trade show.
Neat.
It's Florida Drywall Contractors or something like that, but it's they put their own on, and they moved that with they got a golf tournament wherever where it's at. And that's funny because Friday morning we all play in a golf scramble. You never heard a golf course in such a way with a bunch of drywall contractors on it.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll come play with you. I'm not that good, but I'll come play with you guys.
Oh, awesome. Sure. Awesome.
Yeah, I would like to go to that show and check it out.
TPC, it's at last year was at TPC Sawgrass at the Jacksonville, where they play the Players Championship. So it was it's fun. You got a bunch of drywall guys hooting and hollering. You could hear them all over the course,
You can listen to this podcast in its entirety on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and also Podbean. The Drywall Podcast was brought to you today by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. If you'd like information about the Drywall Podcast, Fresco Harmony, or anything, you can reach out to me directly at info@frescoharmony.com. Thank you so much for joining us on the Drywall Podcast today. I appreciate it. Join us next week as we will have Kevin Bush, author of Adventure in Drywall, with us. Until then, keep drywalling.